Hi, I'm Chuck Gatica. You know, I have made Metro Detroit my home for over 30 years. All of my kids have been born in the city, and over time we've heard a lot about Renaissance, that things were going to change. And while we can feel that change is coming, it also is apparent that we have an area that's filled with a lot of brokenness and a lot of heartache. But that's where the good news can come in. That's where we can find churches that can be changing people's lives in an amazing way by becoming part of the body of believers. It's very exciting to see what could be coming to our local neighborhoods. We look at the history of the United Methodist Church and we see in many cases smaller churches are getting even smaller. And in many cases what used to be effective ministry isn't quite as effective as it used to be. But this is where we now see the opportunity for rebirth and redemption, really the narrative of Jesus Christ's story. The good news, not some news. The good news can come to a neighborhood and bring rebirth to many of these churches that have, in many cases, closed their doors. I want to share with you the beginning of a story. And this is a story that's emanating from Friendship Church. This church is now setting out to bring rebirth to old sacred places. It's a church that's being led by Pastor Mike Norton, who's become a friend. And when you catch this vision, I think you're going to want to be part of something really exciting.
We already have congregations at the crossroads, on the main streets, and in the hearts of many neighborhoods. We believe that many of them need to have ministry results in the future that are different from those in the past. In order to do that, we need to go back and have a new beginning. We literally plant a new seedling of ministry. You could say we're leveraging our experience or multiplying our best practices, but this is really not a technical matter. We are relying on the organic principle that if we plant good things in good soil, then those same good things will grow. Transferring and nurturing healthy values and practices from an established and vital local church is so important. Friendship Church supports each campus in order that it might succeed. So as Friendship Church handles the administrative tasks, planning, and programming, the new campus is then free to focus on relationships, and people are blessed by the impactful and meaningful ministry. This is what changes people's lives.
I think one of the most important pieces of this church was just the ability to have life groups, to get together with people outside of Sunday service, to talk about our walk with Christ and to know that other people are on the same journey as me. Feeling welcomed to this church right when you walk in is something that was really important to my wife and I. Feeling accepted within the church community is part of the reason that led 8 members of my family to Christ.
Being involved in outreach is a place where you see God bring our community together as a church to support the outside community. My son recently told me about a story about one of the women in our church inviting him to be a part of the youth family. And he told it to me with tears in his eyes. And it is so important to me that my kids have that kind of meaningful relationship with other adults.
So I work with the youth, and naturally they have a lot of questions, but everybody has questions. And it was refreshing for me to join a church where the Bible is taught in a relevant way for every generation today. So students, they really connect with music, and especially worship. And it's great to see students that aren't caught up in the performance of it all, but it's more about the heart and the heart connection with God through singing these songs in unison and looking at a room full of students actually calling out to God together. It's a powerful experience.
To renew ministry in these neighborhoods and communities, we must reset the life cycle of the church, reclaim these sacred places, and experience the excitement of birth and growth again. To be clear, the bottom line is to make disciples of Jesus Christ in order to transform the world. This happens one person at a time. Leading more people to follow Jesus, connecting them to more congregations in more communities is a fundamental way to fulfill the Great Commission. In these campuses, like here at Shelby, we will build upon and carry further the faithful ministry done in the past. Once again, this will be a place where people gather for engaging worship, where they develop supportive relationships, and they're taught and encouraged to serve Christ. This campus will become a launch pad for ministries to touch the lives of those who are lost. People are hungry. People need someone to share God's love and acceptance with them. We are more than optimistic, we are confident, because in God's creation, we see that spring always follows winter. We are looking ahead to a season of renewal and growth in places like Shelby. We're excited, but we know we can't do this alone. We need your help to create a movement of new church starts in our region.
You know, successful ministry can happen when like-minded people rub shoulder to shoulder and they get to business. I mean, they bring their time, their talents, their treasures, their spiritual gifts, and they put it in the same basket and they say it's time to make something new happen in an old sacred place. That's the vision of what's happening now with Friendship Church. And if you think this is something you want to be part of, we'd love to have you as part of the team, because somebody has to go to work on this. Matthew West has a song entitled Do Something. It's time for us to do something. But that means that we need to do it maybe now. If you think this is appropriate for you to get involved in your community with one of these new campuses, we want to hear from you. And if you're a ministry leader and you think it's appropriate to bring this idea to your congregation, we'd love to hear from you as well. God bless.